Let's test cheap versus expensive football boots. Starting with our Beanton grip test, and we can see that expensive manages to hold on longer, meaning that studs have a bit more grip to them. Of course, now moving on to our run test, and we can put this into practice, where I just felt expensive dug in a little better than cheap did, but both worked quite well. Now moving on to our strike test, and I felt expensive had a little bit more control on the top of the foot, whereas cheap I found was a bit more inconsistent. Next up onto our air breathability test, and we can see that this time more air flows through cheap, but I would say it's a more consistent airflow in expensive. Moving on to our boot buddy clean test, and again they both perform fairly equally, although the plastic on expensive seems to be slightly shinier, which means that it cleaned a little bit easier, but both actually cleaned pretty easily overall. So I wouldn't really say there was much difference between the two, and obviously the brush helped get the stuff out there mostly. And finally onto our bad tackle sledgehammer boot test, we can see obviously they both took quite a bit of damage from the hammer, but overall I would say it's quite similar, maybe a very slight amount more padding on cheap than expensive, but not considerably different. So even though it was quite a close matchup, expensive wins. Very cool.